guys, good afternoon everyone. This is 5 past 3 p.m. today, so maybe 1 or 2 minutes we'll wait and then we'll start with our SD-WAN session. As you know guys, this is a session which we continue doing every month on either one of our topic or hot discussed topics, So today we are going to start with the Fortinet SD-WAN. We'll talk about some deep dive features and followed by the lab demo. And of course, in the last, we'll do the question and answer. And we are grateful that we have Mr. Rajiv. He is Rajiv Adichandani. He is from Fortinet itself, and he is senior manager. So in last of the session by 3:45, he will be taking us through with some of the product information as well. So I believe we are good to start. All right. So yeah. So guys, as you see the slide here, let me maximize it. Yeah, as you see the slide here, this is all about Cyberjeet Private Limited, what we are into, what we do, and how we help our customers to achieve their goals. We are pretty much, we can define ourselves into IT consulting largely, followed by the system integrators, which is part and parcel of both, you can say. We are authorized reseller and distributor of many of the product which I will be talking about once we go on the Cyberjeet Offerings slide, followed by eventually sometimes occasionally we do the corporate trainings also as and when the customers make a request, followed by the resource consulting, which is almost negligible, but we have helped few of the customers in past to get the right resources for their team. Okay, so that's these are the few vertical where we are working on. Okay, so as you all know, we are partner of the FortiGate, and we keep on conducting the webinars, seminars, and we try to publicize what are all the offerings are there from Fortinet, being a partner of Fortinet, what are all the solutions on security are there, and how you can be leveraged with those kind of options available into the market. So as of now, I would say the SD-WAN is the hot topic into enterprise. Reason being, everyone talks about the WAN. Okay, we have the experience on the WAN optimizers as well, but up to the some content, the SD-WAN is gonna to replace that. That is gonna to bring down the uses of the WAN optimizers also. It gives you ample amount of flexibility as an architect or as an CIO to understand how you can plan your traffic distribution and how you can reach from A to B destination site based on your different options, be it is IPsec tunnel, be it is MPLS network, be it is internet media or your private lease line circuits and such kind of thing. So we are going to talk about this briefly and then followed by some demo where you can consider that as the proof of concept, followed by the questions and answers, and followed by Mr. Rajiv's slides as well. So the agenda of this today's webinar is about introduction of SD-WAN. What is SD-WAN exactly? We'll try to see. SD-WAN rules and SLA, traffic shaping. A bit we'll talk about the auto discovery VPN part also, which is a quite good feature or advanced feature you can say into the SD-WAN solution. Followed by the Cyberjeet offerings, demo, and Q&A in last. So it's about me. I'm the speaker, and I'm one of the co-founder of this organization called Cyberjeet Private Limited. And overall, most of you know that having 18 plus years of experience into the IT security and cybersecurity domain, from past few years, I was quite venturing on my own projects and own organization build up. And this is all about me. This is a LinkedIn profile which is there. Most of you already are connected, but if you are not, you may be able to connect me on this link. However, this audio will be, this particular webinar is getting recorded and will be uploaded into the social medias, and you will be intimated for that. So the first slide, first it talks about the Fortinet SD-WAN, secure SD-WAN solution. Why we say as a secure SD-WAN solution? Reason being Fortinet comes up with a package where the FortiGate firewall itself can be used for the SD-WAN solution. As you know, this is the firewall, next generation firewall. It comes with multiple UTM feature into it, and it is one of the successful product into the firewall industry, which provides the security to many of the enterprise customers. So with the same box, with the same solution, SD-WAN gets add up into that. So with the SD-WAN, absolutely you don't have to buy any of the extra license. It comes as a free of cost on the Fortinet firewall. All you need to have the right skilled people who should be able to do the SD-WAN configuration, solutioning, and all those. And of course, you need to plan your architecture in such a way that you have all the required resiliency, circuitry part, etc. Now, if you talk about the SD-WAN, you see this nice picture, empty road, you can drive your car more than 100 kilometer per hour speed, whatever you want, or your car is capable of. Okay, to understand the SD-WAN, use a road trip as an example. This is what the slide talks about. Everyone loves a good road trip, enjoying relaxed, transit-free travel. You should not stop. Your car should keep on going on the cruise control and all those. Yeah, absolutely, everyone likes it. But what about this kind of scenario? If you don't get those kind of road, you sometimes, occasionally, not occasionally, we all live in a metro cities. We are quite often seeing these kind of traffic, which you can see here on my slide. Like you have the very busy metro roads. Then maybe if you go in the remote village areas where you can see the other side of the road where there is no road at all, right? So these kind of roads are also available or are there, okay? And it is quite comparable to our network traffic where the SD-WAN comes as a solution to all these problems. So if you see the old era when people or tourists used to travel, they used to carry a map. Those maps used to be, the paper-based map. They used to see where I am. They will ask somebody or the shopkeeper, and then they will figure it out where they are and how they are. Whereas if you talk about the today's world, you have everything on your palm, your hand. That is nothing. That's your mobile. You have GPS solution. You have map solution. You can see the real time traffic also. Like you see on one of the right side picture. On one way you have half of the road is fully traffic packed jammed, whereas the other side is free. So it may be both side allowed, but that's kind of real-time traffic ingestion is also required, which today we are getting into our maps or Android or iOS maps, which you can see. So that's what it says here. Like in the old days, you had to resort the paper maps, but they really don't solve most of the aforementioned problems, right? You have the paper map, but you know the way, you know the path, but you don't know what is the real time traffic. So that's where you will have the trouble. So whereas if you see now we live in an age information and all these problems are in the past because the power of technology, with the help of technology, you can even avoid these kinds of issues entirely, right? So rightly said, when you start moving from your office to home, you set up your map, you see where exactly is high traffic, and you may take some alternate route and you would be reaching your home little early, right? Now the SD-WAN helps you solve very similar issues. What we are seeing on the road, which is day to day on the daily basis we see. SD-WAN helps you solve very similar issues but in a network. For example, a saturated internet link or the link may not be saturated but could have a series of impairments like packet loss or high latency. You also need to plan for complete link failure. So the thing is, these images which we have seen here, these are our real-time traffic related, but why not it is applicable on our network? It is of course 100% applicable on our network congestion as well. Okay, we may have from Bangalore or Mumbai to New York or Dallas, we have to reach from A side to B side. The organization may have multiple path, one going through the UK, another going through the China route. But where is the exact which route is the best preferred route based on the latency, based on the jitter, based on the packet loss? Those kind of things are very much applicable into our day-to-day enterprise network as well, where the SD-WAN comes into the picture. This slide, if you talk about it, shows like what is exactly the SD-WAN. Today we are heavily relying on the applications. Those applications could be your homegrown application or publicly available applications, or it is hosted on public cloud, private cloud, or hybrid model. These are the few of the options we have. Now, most of the organizations are moving towards the cloud, but still they have the hybrid architecture. They have some of the applications on the public cloud, some of the applications on the private cloud, and some of the applications are still the hardware boxes, right? So we have mix of all these kind of network resources which are heavily relied on the network bandwidth and the performance of the network. So when you see here the SD-WAN being the Fortinet product, which always most of the time we put up on on our bottleneck of the network, like the path where entry and exit is there we put. And then you can see the SD-WAN is here after the router your SD-WAN comes into the picture. Since the SD-WAN is there, we can, and using on the Fortinet, we can make it as a secure SD-WAN using the be it IPsec tunnel or tightening our control security on next generation using the next generation firewall features like UTM features. Absolutely up to the customer or up to you how you want to tighten your security or what is the high priority for you. Maybe application based SD-WAN solution you are looking, you want to give high bandwidth or importance to a particular application, maybe the senior management video or conference calls. Those kind of applications can be quite given importance, and they can be at the same time secured as well. So you will have then software defined branches also. You may have the branches which are connected through MPLS, through IPsec tunnels, and maybe a public cloud is also there. Those all can be covered with the help of the SD-WAN. You have the then secure SD branch between branch A to branch B. If you come on this slide, you see a lot of icons you are able to see here. Okay, and these icons are nothing. These icons are your day-to-day resources which you are using, and day-to-day those all security features which you are using. If you see on this corner, down right side on the corner, like which enables the digital transformation by the CIO, application resiliency, redundant complexity, then you have capex and opex reduction. Whereas CISO is concerned about attack surface visibility, how I can secure my infra, integrated security infrastructure, then DR automation, then security framework, etc. All these whole bunch of things have to be taken under the consideration once you start deploying something. So when you come over here on these slides, you can see application awareness. As you know, the Fortinet is a next generation firewall. It has thousands of app IDs into it already pre-built, and it keeps on getting updated from the FortiCloud. So no matter what the applications are there or existing, those all will be identified under the app ID. Now using the application, since your firewall is aware, NGFW is aware about the application, you can go ahead, use the SD-WAN solution as like giving high priority to one particular application, giving little low priority to another application. When it comes to the IPsec, you know why we use the IPsec. We can have like it's a quick solution. You can have a remote site, upcoming site which has just internet. It will take time for the MPLS and other stuff. But here, when it comes with the IPsec solution, it can be commissioned in 1 or 2 days, and it will be a part of the network. You make it in a part of that. Security services like FortiGuard, sandboxing, and other services are already there from the Fortinet. Here you can see the security, like you have other solutions like other boxes or devices like Forti Manager, Forti Analyzer, Forti SIM. I hope you know that the Forti SIM. Forti SIM is security incident and event management. You just ingest all of logs from the mission critical devices to the Forti SIM, and it is responsible to do the correlation and make an alert to your SOC team, and they should be start working to restore whatever the attack surfaces has been found. Whereas Forti Manager, your SD-WAN device is quite manageable by the Forti Manager, as it is gonna to sit on and above the FortiGate firewall itself. The Forti Manager used to manage all these FortiGate devices, including your NGFW, where the SD-WAN will be implemented. Forti Analyzer at the same time will be responsible for reporting purpose. You ingest all the log from the different devices of FortiGate, and Forti Analyzer will be able to analyze it, and it gives you a fancy report based, and it's customizable report also, like management or your customer wants to see only just top 10 applications. Based on that, it can segregate and it can give you that information as well. And here it talks about all the next generation firewall UTM features basically. And let's go to the next slide. This is in continuation of the same, like where what are all the use cases where your SD-WAN solution can be a right fit here. And this slide talks about the Gartner chart. Here, if you see the Gartner chart talks about, this is the latest 2021 for the SD-WAN Magic Quadrant Gartner chart, where you can clearly see the Fortinet is the leader, and we are fortunate enough to be there in the leaders. It is self-explanatory. We don't have to explain where we stand. It is of course measured based on the vision, completeness of vision, and ability to execute. You all know these three quadrants. If we are into the leaders, it means it is a well versed and proven technology. What exactly is the SD-WAN? This slide talks about a virtual interface consisting of a group of member interfaces that can be connected to a different link types. Let's say you have two internet or two MPLS or two medium to connect. You can put together both the interfaces into one, or maybe more than two as well you can put, and you can create the SD-WAN interface. Okay. Whereas if you talk about the secure SD-WAN component, QoS is also quite supported by the traffic shaping is supported by the SD-WAN solution of Fortinet. You will have to do the routing a bit on it as per your the organizational topology and such kind of thing. Then SD-WAN solution will have the network where the SD-WAN interfaces, where you just add up those interfaces which should be a part of the SD-WAN network. Then there will be rules which you can be able to create. Then there could be performance SLA monitoring option also, where I want based on the performance certain traffic to be sent, a high priority traffic to be sent with the better SLA interface or the WAN link. Yes, I can do that. So it helps you to gain that particular, achieve that particular requirement. If you talk about similarity here, all these NGFW features as it comes into the firewall, then SD-WAN solution, it comes into the firewall, put together all, we say it as a secure SD-WAN. You don't have to worry, you just have your firewall connected, you have your WAN interfaces, and then go from there. You have FortiOS enable best of breed SD-WAN solution. So yes, we have been recognized by the Gartner, we have been recognized by our customers, and everywhere we are one of the best in breed SD-WAN solution. Like application awareness, we have multipath intelligence, multipath broadband support are also there, simplified monitoring and certified securities as well there. You can see here the you can create the SLA, the critical, top, high, medium, based on of course your requirement, how you want to give the prioritization and giving putting across to the SLA. You can be able to do that. You see here like few of the example of the performance SLA. You can do the ping or HTTP, TCP echo, UDP echo, and those kind of tests you can create. It can give you the latency if it is lesser or higher than a particular my desired latency. Based on that, I can be able to segregate my or reroute my traffic through a particular link. Those all can be there: latency, packet loss, and jitter. So it is quite well versed to monitor all these. The Fortinet is quite well versed to monitor these. Now, this is brief about the ASIC, the hardware component of the SD-WAN product, which is your Fortinet product firewall. You can see here, like it has the SOC 4. This is probably a little old slide. Maybe it will be higher than this. A53 quad processor is there. Then you have the RAM. Of course, it depends on the hardware to hardware. If you go to the higher model, there will be high capacity. If you go to the lower model, it will be a little less capacity. Okay. Some of the use cases which you could be able to see, like in this example, if you see, there is two IPsec VPN tunnel. Okay. In this slide, if you see, costly MPLS is replaced by just two internet VPN tunnel, yet gains robust resiliency and redundancy. By replacing MPLS, the customer can minimize the cost while maximizing the quality. The SD-WAN solution is a network application aware solution that dynamically selects the best WAN to maintain higher SLA. So it is something like you configure and forget. That sort of solution you can consider the SD-WAN is, where you all know that MPLS is a quite expensive solution. So when MPLS is a quite expensive solution, whereas the internet is quite lower cost solution. So here you can replace your existing MPLS with the IPsec VPN tunnel. Reason being, you can still trust those data which transmit through the internet media, because you are providing them the security solution, which is nothing through the IPsec. So I can still I would be able to minimize the CIOs can be able to minimize the cost which they are spending annually or monthly as a recurring cost to the MPLS and these kind of circuits. So those amount or those money can be be used on something different, infrastructure enhancement. So enterprise SD-WAN use case, you can see here the internet SaaS is there, where the application awareness and the path awareness intelligence can be brought into the SD-WAN solution. So based on the application, you can have, let's say application A, it should be going through it should be going through a link one, whereas another application, low critical application, can be traveled through the WAN 2. Those sort of configuration options are pretty much available here. Here you can see in this use case, like the customer is using two ISP connection. For the redundancy, ISP A is being used to send business critical traffic based on the best path and less delay, jitter, and the packet loss. So these all sort of configuration tweaking options are pretty much available, and Fortinet gives you quite a lot flexibility on that. SD-WAN configuration, this is one of the screenshot you can see, like in this particular SD-WAN interface, there are two ports, port 1 and port 2. Hopefully both are the WAN interface, and there are how much download, upload, all these kind of fancy information what you require the real time can be observed on the Fortinet. The performance SLA configuration, you can see, like you can be able to put certain servers for the SLA monitoring. It will do a probe test of ping every 5 seconds. Those can be configurable and editable as well, like link health monitoring, SLA target you can set up. It's absolutely flexible, and you are the one who will decide what should be the SLA target. Then link status, retries, etc. A lot of flexible options are available by the Fortinet. You can see here the performance SLA, where you can be able to see the health related to the health. If one interface, one internet link is down, it can be taken care by the another one. So here the quality measurement also can be seen, like you can be able to see out of these two ports which are a part of the SD-WAN link. So which has high jitter, what is the packet loss, you can see here, you can see the graphical view as well. However, you can be able to add more than two interfaces also, keep in mind that as well. So you would be able to monitor into your Fortinet all these information, granular level of information at one dashboard. So this supports the traffic shaping also, as like I said, the QoS is also supported by the Fortinet. and that's what this slide talks about. Based on your requirement, you can configure the QoS, you can be able to do all those required configuration which are pretty much supported by the Fortinet SD-WAN device. Now coming on the Cyberjeet offerings, then followed by the demo session. I will be taking you through one of the demo which we have prepared. I will show you the topology as well. We as in Cyberjeet, we provide IT network security solutions. We have a SOC. We do provide 24/7 global SOC solution as well. We are occasionally into the corporate trainings and consulting business as well. Remote infrastructure support also we do provide. We do provide web applications security like VAPT, then giving you solution of the Fortinet load balancers, then WAF. All those are pretty much available and we do provide that. So here you can see the VAPT, you all know vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. It is all about like finding the gaps into your applications and highlighting it, giving you the report, and then you can start working on getting the solution for it, or we are there to provide you the solution based on our mutual agreement. We will kick off a project and we just go ahead and fix all the loopholes. Cloud consulting and migration is also our one of the services, followed by the data center movement to the cloud infra. So we are at the verge of becoming partner of AWS. So we have worked on some of the quite interesting cloud projects as well, where the customers has been moved. Those were for the BFSI. Now here this slide talks about whom we are partner and whom we are authorized reseller. Here we are partner of the IAM solution like Trust Builder. We are very much the vocal partner of the Fortinet, which is a leading security provider. And the beauty of the Fortinet, you don't have to go anywhere. You have almost all the security solutions, be it firewall, be it Wi-Fi, be it same WAF, load balancer, then email security, proxy solutions, everything. When you talk about into the security, Fortinet has those products, and it comes with a very wide range where it gives the flexibility to the customers to choose, pick and choose whatever they need it. Then microfocus also we are partner with them. RSA, Fireeye, Lookout. Lookout is basically an EDR solution. Fireeye is the APT solution. Then we are partner of the PAM like Beyond Trust. EdNexus is one of the ADC. TIPCO, which is all about the data analytics. We are partner of Imperva and Barracuda. Coming on our services, this is the same. This slide reiterates the same which is there in the previous slides, and this is all about a bit on the corporate training also. And this is all about our addresses where you can reach us to us. You have our mail ID, you have our contact numbers, email addresses, everything. So now it's demo time, guys. So let's go back to the demo. So just a moment. Let me show you the topology. How is the topology? Yeah. So if you talk about, let me take it MS Paint. I have hardly 12 minutes. Then after Mr. Rajiv will be taking it up. So I will be trying to. So this is topology where one firewall is here, another firewall is here. There are two WAN link. One is here, then second is here. So those all are fine, but what we are trying to do here, this part you see, like this part is not there into our demo POC. We are working on this part. So I will get into the RDP from here to here. Then there is another device, another Windows machine which has only one interface, so that the traffic will pass through the Fortinet SD-WAN. And to generate the traffic, we will get into the second RDP here, okay, and then we will be generating the traffic from this machine towards the internet. So basically we have two WAN links, WAN 1 and WAN 2. Both are pointing towards the internet, okay. We'll try to explore some of the things here, okay, which are pre-configured, but let me take you through. Here we go. So this is our Fortinet. If you come on the network devices interfaces, port 1, which is used as the LAN interface, and the gateway interface for the second RDP through which the traffic will be generated. Port 1 And port 2, if you see here, these are the two interfaces. Those are the WAN 1 and WAN 2. That's the one which I was showing you into the here. This is 1 and this is 2. Okay. And it goes with the router, and from router there is internet link. That's how the topology is built. So if you talk about this, we have set up already. So if you come into the SD-WAN zone, so here if you see the two interfaces, both WAN interfaces are configured into the SD-WAN zone so that it will be a part of the SD-WAN zone, and when we create the traffic, it will be passing through the SD-WAN. Okay. Now similarly we have added here, and you can see some of the tests we have done in past, and you can see the download, upload. You can see over here the graphical view as well. You can see both based on the bandwidth, based on the volume, based on the sessions, how much was the traffic on both. Okay. Coming on the static routes, we need of course the static route, the default route, since it is internet. So as you see here, we are not giving the WAN 1 or WAN 2. We are just configuring the SD-WAN zone. With the SD-WAN zone, what happens? Within the SD-WAN zone, you have WAN 1 and WAN 2. So what happens in that case? If you have done the equal load balancing, it will be going through both of the interfaces. Maybe you can see here. Okay, it's not there, but leave it. I will show you. So this is the static route which ensures that the traffic is passing through the SD-WAN both the interfaces. Now coming on, of course, the policy object. This is why we say this particular Fortinet SD-WAN solution is a secured SD-WAN solution. Reason being, your firewall is here. You can be able to, this is the policy which we create usually on the firewalls. The same policy you create on the firewall here as well, and you put up whatever your UTM features like antivirus, web filtering, your proxy enablement, IPS, application control, SSL inspection. Each and everything can be doable here. Okay, so of course the NAT is set up so that the traffic can get natted and it will be going out when it goes. If you see, the incoming traffic is port 1, which is LAN, and outgoing is the SD-WAN, so that the traffic will go from both the interfaces basically, and that's how the policy is configured. Okay, now let's generate some of the traffic and try to see those traffic basically. Okay, I will, and this is the second RDP basically. On the second RDP, if you come IP config, CLS IP config, you see only one interface is there. That's the way this particular POC we are doing. Like we have only one interface is pointing towards the firewall. Let's come here. Put some command to see some diagnose a sniffer packet any TCP then routine and to equal to and port. Let's go for port 443. Now it is no more websites with the port number 80, and this is where 4. All right, so I will go here. I will just refresh this last web page. Come back. Yeah, you see there is communication which is going through port 1 and as well as port 2. So both the links are equally utilized here. Guys, I hope you are able to see that, right? It can happen only and only because we are using the SD-WAN feature. So both the WAN interfaces are equally getting utilized over here, right? So I will show you some of the other configuration. I know the time is very much less here, but yeah, whenever you need any detailed proof of concept, be in touch with us. We would be more than happy, to answer all of your questions related to SD-WAN POCs. Coming on your network and then the performance SLA, you can be able to configure the performance SLA. We have configured here like SLA ICMP. I will edit and show you. So you can see both the ports, WAN 1, WAN 2 is there. we can do set up any servers. These servers can be a public IP address, or it can be, our local in-house IP address does not. Here you can see the packet loss is 0, latency is 40, jitter is 0.12 milliseconds. The reason is because these are not really the two different links. Here if you see, this is ultimately one internet, but yeah, it's good for the POCs. So you can see, you can define the latency threshold and all that here. Okay, you can have the link status as well. So all that configuration you would be able to configure here based on your, and these are very granular level of configuration which you could be able to see. Then once you configure the performance SLA, you can be able to go into the rules of the SD-WAN, where you can define based on the application or based on the source IP address to destination. Maybe every organization would like to give full or high bandwidth or prioritize those traffic which are coming from the senior management, and those who are coming from the guest wireless, I don't mind to have them the very less kind of bandwidth. So those kind of segregation you can be able to do under the SD-WAN rules over here. So let me show you one of the this Google ICMP. For the Google ICMP, for any source, here we have kept any, but you can define based on your requirement. Here you can do the manually assign the outgoing interface. Here you can be able to define manually best quality, lowest cost based on the SLA, and maximize bandwidth. These four options it will be given to you under the SD-WAN rules, where it will help you to define which one, which is your preference. So you would be able to configure that. You can see the Daily Motion, another application which has been defined for the manual one, right? So these are very granular level of information which you would be able to, Fortigate provides you flexibility under the SD-WAN, you to define it and how you want to take it ahead. You would be able to do that. Okay, let me show you a few of the commands over here. Not this one, come here. Let me stop this. Here, like diagnose system session list. Okay, you can see here the granular level of information, like what is the policy ID and those. Yeah, see, policy ID is 0. So yeah, here you see this traffic is policy ID 1. So the one policy which you have defined, it is going to take that policy. It is SD-WAN rule policy basically. If you have defined through which it will be taking. If you have defined it for manually to go ahead with the WAN 1, this particular traffic will go through the WAN 1. Whereas if you defined based on other options, it will be taking the decision accordingly. So these kind of information you would be able to see at the very granular level. And I must tell you, we have done quite few projects on the SD-WAN of FortiGate projects. So we have delivered our customers. We have a absolutely fabulous feedback on the Fortinet SD-WAN. They are quite happy. Reason being, it's quite manageable, it's user friendly also, and it gives you a lot of flexibility to do. Okay, so these kind of things you would be able to perform. Traffic shaping, let me quickly, I have hardly 2 minutes left, but let me quickly take you through the traffic shaping. Under the policy object, uh, under the traffic shapers, you can be like YouTube shapers. So you can define a very minimal bandwidth for, very generic. Many of the organization, they want people to be productive, and they don't want employees to come and just start browsing the videos. Okay, many of the organizations, they want to implement this. How it can be done? You have the traffic shaping options here, the configuration option. I can give here, it's very aggressive, but usually we give in Mbps something. So here it's given just 1 kbps. So you would be able to, it is something you who has lot of flexibility given into your hand to implement your policy based on your CISO, what your CISO has defined, and that's kind of granular information you get, or that's kind of granular options you get into the FortiGate SD-WAN. So guys, quickly, now the time has come for Mr. Rajiv to take it over. Rajiv, I would stop here.
Okay, thank you, Ajit. Is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's
Am I audible to you?
very much.
All right, thank you so much. I'll just take this into the presentation mode. Uh, Thank you, Cyberjeet team, for this great opportunity. And thank you, Ajit, for having me here. It's indeed a great pleasure to be connected with your esteemed customers. My name is Rajiv Abhichandani, and I'm part of the SMB channel sales team. Driving the channels activities for India and SAARC region. I'm based out of Mumbai, and really hoping to connect all of you face to face, as soon as possible, and once the pandemic is behind us. I must say, Ajit, I really liked your presentation, especially the initial ones, where you explain about how you drew parallel with the Google Maps and how we are able to navigate through some of the decongested roads. SD-WAN is exactly the same story. And I want to quickly talk about how much time I have, Ajit, maybe 10 to 15 minutes or max.
You have 15 to 20 minutes, 5 minutes we may exceed, that's not a problem.
No, okay. I think you've covered the crux of it. I think you've covered the ground well. So I will keep it short, and I'll just add on to what you said. So, um, ladies and gentlemen, we have been living on the edge ever since the pandemic struck, and there has been explosion of edges, if I can call it that way. I'm working from home edge today. I'm also using a mobile edge. There's a cloud edge that's taking the market by storm. We have the LAN edge, WAN edge, the campus edge, data center edge, OT edge, and so many edges that has evolved. And the definition of perimeter is hard to define because the perimeter is everywhere or the perimeter is getting diluted. Um, People are working from home, a few going back to offices. So this hybrid model is here to stay, right? So protecting that edge is very important because these edge are the new attack surfaces that has evolved, in last 1.5 year. And securing all of these is very important. Otherwise, it gives an opportunity for the bad actors, to get inside and create malicious attacks within your network, no matter wherever you are. Uh, I am sure you all know about Fortinet. Just a minute about the company. We are a listed company in NASDAQ, doing extremely well. Um, we are a very young company. We started operations about 21 years back. And there you see, it's worth noting the growth that we had in the last 10 years, 20 years is the hills and valleys are exceptional. If you have to look at the recent market cap, as of yesterday, I was looking, I would say that we are the, fastest growing or the largest cybersecurity company in the world now. And if you have been looking at our stock prices, if you have been following Wall Street, um, Fortinet stocks have a lot to say, especially in the last 18 months or so, right? So that's about Fortinet. I don't want to belabor too much on that point. But what I want to jump into is, what is driving the remote workforce today? 78% of organizations are currently using cloud. 51% of organizations are using multiple public clouds. We all know about it, and ever since the pandemic strike, I think the adoption of cloud has accelerated like never before. And 70% of some of the workforce will work remotely at least 5 days a month by 2025, right? Because we have all identified that the work-life balance is helping us make more productive. Now, what are those business goals, that you all know, right? The IT landscape changed, and the strategies had to be, reset, thought again, the strategies that were defined for years had to be, mulled around in a matter of weeks. So what was that strategy, when the pandemic struck us? Hybrid workspace, is driving the network transformation. The business agility, applications anywhere. Cost saving is driving the application modernization. Here we are seeing more and more number of applications moving onto the cloud. And securing everything that hooks onto the network is driving the cybersecurity adoption. But if you look at some of those numbers below, 70% of work from home users reporting performance issues, 150% rise in ransomware in 2020. And then compounding to that, we have IP routing configuration, disparate management console, and highly distributed environment, raising the cost. Now, this is what I was talking about in my initial slide. The explosion of edges is causing all of this. And this is exactly the representation of how the perimeter has dissolved ever since the pandemic strike. But let me tell you, some of those challenges that I just spoke is because of three main reasons. One, we have more number of users from outside the network accessing the applications than inside. We have more number of unmanaged devices, accessing the applications or accessing the enterprise network than inside. And the third is, cybersecurity is a very, very fragmented market. And you will see any enterprise having multiple cybersecurity deployment in their premises, all of them, claiming to solve the gravest problem that the customer has. For example, if endpoint security vendor is featuring in Gartner, okay, the customers will go and buy that. If the cloud security vendor is featuring in Gartner, they'll go and buy that. So point solutions are there in the enterprise, with most of the enterprise. And what Gartner says is by 2025, 3/4 of the large organizations will be pursuing the vendor consolidation, up from approximately 1/4 today. So the need of this hour is the integrated approach covering the broadest attack surface. This is what Gartner says. And this is the answer that we have to some of the challenges that we just ideated on. Fortinet Security Fabric is one of the most powerful engine, that is broad, which protects the broad attack surface that has evolved today. It's integrated, well integrated, collaborated with multiple solutions working together. And then, of course, automation to drive efficiency and faster response. And most importantly, this can be extended to any edge. Now, if you look at the spear right here in the center, you have FortiOS, which is the single OS powering the three main pillars of our business, which is security-driven networking, the firewalls, the SD-WAN. This is where the convergence of network and security happens. We don't view security and the network in isolated forms today. Zero trust access, I don't want to talk about it because I'm sure everybody knows every organization is on the zero trust journey in some way or other. The adaptive cloud security is all about having a cloud secure for the native workloads and application in multiple cloud forms, which is infra as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service, right? And if I have to break this down, if I have to decode that security fabric, we are here talking about 50 plus products, that works together in different pillars, in different tenets. Here you see security-driven networking, the FortiGate SD-WAN, which is our flagship product, which Ajit was just talking about, FortiGate, FortiSwitch. And then if you talk about the fabric management center, we have the FortiXDR, EDR, FortiSIM, FortiSOAR, which powers the security operations center for the customer. Adaptive cloud security, most of the solution that Fortinet selling on premises are on the cloud today. And some of the fast moving ones are FortiGate VM, FortiMail, FortiWeb, FortiCASB, to name a few. And zero trust access is all about securing the endpoint, 40 NAC, 40 authenticator, 40 client. And then this is underpinned by the 40 guard security services, which collects feed from variety of sources across the world. Is processed by our scientists, threat hunters, researchers, and then it's shared with the customers in form of threat intelligence, not just threat intelligence, but actionable threat intelligence, right? So this is the Fortinet story. This is what, if you want to know end-to-end products as a part of security fabric of Fortinet, this is one slide that you should refer to. Now, if I have to convert this into a slightly different form, and this is not a technical slide, this is how each of our solution fits into the different environment of the customer, solving different problems, security challenges that they have. FortiGate right is the nerve center of the customer's network. And then you have the different solutions for the network operations center, data center, mobile users, remote offices. And you can see the cloud solutions which gels well here. Most of our solutions are supported on AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and Alibaba, right? So this is again a very powerful story. I think if you can just show this slide to your customers, or if you just show this slide to some of your internal stakeholders, you will be able to understand which are those areas where Fortinet brings in the value addition. Moving on, this is about SD-WAN. We call it as one edge solution. And just building onto what Ajit was alluding to, the one edge solution is a very powerful story, which is designed for the cloud first, security sensitive, and global enterprises. And the goodness is, it's powered by one OS, one management, whether you buy it in a box or you buy it on the cloud. It's a single solution that encompasses SD-WAN, firewall, advanced routing, zero trust access, and visibility, right? So gone are those days when those primitive routers would be required, and then you need security on top of it, and then you need to install the zero trust access, and then a separate solution for visibility. I think this is all one all-in-one solution that the customers are today looking for. This is how the SD-WAN solution basically fits into the cloud, between the cloud, and this is basically a case study of a customer in India which has adopted multi-cloud solution. So there you see, they have AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and how the Fortinet solution is connecting securely. The one edge solution is connecting into this multi-cloud solution. This is the industry's first one edge solution, that works so beautifully with the multi-cloud environment. If you have to do a comparison of the traditional network edge, where you have the 6 solutions, as I was saying, you need a router, the firewall, you need a visibility tool, the management tool, which is complex, inefficient, expensive. You see it on the right hand side, just one box solution or one form factor solution, which is simple, agile, cost effective, and it's zero touch. Nowadays, you don't need human intervention in all the places. You just have to deploy the boxes, and boxes have the ability to configure themselves intelligently. That's the power of Fortinet. And of course, the business outcomes are wonderful: 10x superior user experience, productivity improvement, 99% business uptime, and 65% lower total cost of ownership. Now, this is one slide which is very close to my heart, and this is a very, very powerful story, because this is about Gartner's Magic Quadrant for network firewall and the SD-WAN. And this has been released very recently, as recent as last 15 days back. On the left-hand side, you see the firewall, which is right there in the Magic Quadrant. And this is for the 12th year in a row that we are maintaining the leader's position. And if you see on the right-hand side, which is for SD-WAN, Fortinet is right there up on the Magic Quadrant, and there's absolutely no competition nearby. Now, the fun is when you combine these two together, as Ajit mentioned, when you consolidate these two together, which is actually a part of one edge, one OS, one management, I don't see any competition, which is having as good story as ours from the security and networking standpoint, right? And this one slide says it all about this product. I will skip this. So this is my last slide. Fortinet Secure One Edge solution, the leader in network and security convergence, the most scalable self-healing network, and trusted by 30,000 plus customers worldwide, 100% channels driven. It's through value-added partners. So if you have not, seen this product, please reach out to Cyberjeet team. I'm sure you have seen the demo now in a controlled environment. If you do the POC, I'm sure you will love the benefits out of it. That's all what I wanted to talk about today. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rajiv.